I'm trying to figure out how to assess these cards because it's 20 years worth of cards. I can't judge them based on standard playability. I don't have the knowledge to assess them based on were they playable at the time, and I don't have the retro knowledge to go these are retro playable. So I'm just going to go off my vibes, seeing them on face. If I think they're cool, if I think they have interesting abilities, off the art, essentially it's just going to be would I play it based on what it says on face. And so these are all my personal opinions. I don't know the history of the game, and I'm sure that I'm going to make a lot of bad takes on here, but that's what I do. Soul Calibur 3 Souls Arena. Art looks amazing on this card straight away. Abyss 628. Now we're starting to see the health totals that we knew and loved in the past. Commit after you play an attack as a reversal. We've seen so much reversal love. Did like Sabretooth and stuff just love reversals? After playing attack as a reversal, add one card from any player's card pool to that player's momentum. So you get to just play the progressive. Discard 2 momentum. If you block with this attack, if you block this attack, you may play any attack in your hand as a reversal. Decent health starting. Being able to play any card in your hand for 2 momentum, and then also be able to commit to add more cards to your momentum. Not the worst combination in the world. I'll stick it in a C and let Mike shout at me. Yoshimitsu. Oh, I cannot believe I'm going 6.5 hours. I'm knackered. I've got so many more to do. Commit. Lose X times 2 vitality. Choose one. Draw X cards. Or your opponent discards X cards. X equals the number of cards in your hand. So if I have 5 cards in my hand, I have to lose 2 health to draw 5 cards, or make my opponent discard 5 cards. Commit discard momentum for the rest of the turn. When you are losing vitality to pay for the cost of a card or ability, reduce that cost by 2 minimum to 1. So they don't stack, which is a shame. Everyone loves reversals until MHA Nation attacked. Okay. I don't like the idea of. I do not like the idea of losing 4 health to get rid of 2 cards. But I guess it kind of stacks. Losing 2 health to get rid of 1 card or draw 1 card. Yeah, that's what I mean. So if I have 5 cards in my hand, I lose 10 health, and then I either get to draw 5 cards, or I get to make my opponent discard 5 cards on top of that. So that's if I have 5 cards in hand. This is a form commit, so I could end up losing 12 if I did it like as my first form. Go up to 12 cards in hand, which is very cool, but I'm also down 12 health, which is a big risk reward factor. Not playable for me, but I can see the appeal to some people. Yoshimitsu 1, 7, 22, commit, discard X cards. Instead of blocking an attack, that attack's damage is reduced to 0. X equals the damage of the attack. Discard 1 momentum, ready this card. This ability may be played while committed. Okay. So if you discard 3 cards and they have a 3 damage attack, you take 0. But you have to have the amount of cards in hand equal to damage, which is not always going to be the case. Not a fan of that one either. Just try and justify it in my head to make it D, but I can't. Talim. After your attack deals damage, place a Talim token on this card. Commit your attack with a difficulty of X or less. Gets multiple to X equals the number of Talim tokens on this card. Well, it's not a commit cost for the Talim tokens, which is pretty cool. So if you can hit with 3 attacks, a 3 difficulty attack will get multiple 2. That's pretty nice. And there's not really many ways your opponent can interact with that. 720 as well, compared to some of what we've seen, isn't the worst stat in the world. Put this as a solid D. When paying for the cost of multiple, use the top cards of your deck instead of momentum. Well, about that. During the end phase, instead of discarding any multiple copies created, this way they are removed from the game. Commit. If an attack deals damage, discard all face down cards from your card pool. Exactly, Cameron. I like the removing. If you can hit with the last multiple copy in your card pool, you get to clear the progressive. I can see this being a solid D as well. She says you can't make more copies than the momentum you have. That's fair. That's fair. I think solid D even with that. I don't know why chat is so far delayed. Taki, before the game begins, add the top 2 cards of your deck to your momentum. Your opponent adds 1 card from the top card of their deck to their momentum. After your opponent discards 2 or more momentum, add 1 card. Ow. After your opponent discards 2 or more momentum, add 1 card from your momentum to your hand. So if your opponent spends 2 momentum, you get a momentum back. You immediately start with 2 momentum, meaning you can pop off. You are a 6 hand size 22 health character, hoping your opponent spends momentum. That could be an issue, but could also be fun if you can force your opponent to spend 2 momentum. D. Taki 4. Commit, add 2 cards from your momentum to your hand. That's pretty decent. From discard 2 momentum, ready this card. Only playable while committed. So if you can get a butt ton of momentum, you can increase your hand size exponentially, but you start off as a 623. Again with a D. Rock. Commit any attacks get -2 damage. So I assume that's for the rest of the turn. All attacks get -2 damage. Or any attack gets -2 damage. So you just give an attack -2 damage. Discard one face-up card for your momentum. Each player commits 2 of their opponent's foundations. Not a fan of that. I lose 2 foundations, and I can only do -2 damage once. That just seems like a feel bad. Rock 1. Commit, discard 2 non-attack cards from each player. Discard 2 non-attack cards. Each player draws 2 cards. Why am I giving my opponent value? Your Earth, Life, or Void attack gets +1 damage. Only playable while committed. What do you mean only playable while committed? What do you mean I'm going to give my opponent value before I can start getting damage? No. I never want my opponent to draw 2 cards because of me. And my opponent's getting all the profit there. I'm discarding 2 cards, and then my opponent's drawing 2 for free. So I'm at 0, my opponent's at -2. That doesn't seem fair. After you play Mitsurugi, after you play an ability that changes the zone of an attack, it gets +2 speed. Yeah, I know, Mike. Commit him to pass a check. Well, if I need to commit him to pass a check. Commit after you give an attack a speed bonus. Draw X cards at the end of your turn. X equals the speed bonus. So if I change the zone, I then get to give it 2 speed, which means I can commit my character and draw 2 cards. If I EX 3, I only draw 3, right? Because it's a speed bonus of 3 + 3 + 3 + 3, not a speed bonus of 12. I mean, 624, not too bad. But decent card draw face. Speed if I can change the zone, and I imagine there's ways to change the zone. But I'd be trying to focus on getting the most utility out of that card draw. Mitsurugi 4. Scout Momentum, your all attack gets +3 damage. Commit after your fire attack deals damage, draw 2 cards. No. I'd have to play all my fire and alls together, and even then, discard momentum just for a little bit of speed, and hoping to hit the fire. I'm just telegraphing to my opponent what they need to block. Lizard Man 2. Reveal your hand when you take damage from an opponent's attack. Take 1 less for each revealed card in your hand, -1. So a minimum 1. Form commit, discard 1 card. After an attack gets any attack gets -3 damage. That's Form commit, discard a card. Any attack gets -3 damage. If this ability reduces... Oh, it's an E. It's just a very badly looking E. If this ability reduces an attack damage to 0 or less, your opponent must take 1 card from their hand and add it to a momentum. I don't like revealing my hand to my opponent, even if it's going to reduce damage. And discarding a card, hoping that my opponent loses the card too. Not a fan. This is a ridiculous. Yes, Hitch. Yes, it is. And I am so far behind schedule. I am already so knackered. Which one are you on about, Mike? I need to... No, it's plus X for each momentum. Okay. See, I thought it was, when you did EX, you did EX3, so it was increments of 3. Like, that's why when you did EX and stuff for Phage and Flurry, you got the same amount of momentum back. I didn't realize it was just one big thing, so you could get a bunch from EX. That I'll put up to C if that's the case. Oh. Lizardman 1. Commit. After attack is played as a reversal, commit. Your attack played as a reversal is unblockable. Your opponent may discard 2 cards to negate this effect. Your attack gets +1 speed, +1 damage. Your opponent may discard 1 card to negate this effect. It's free the better. It's because I'm not thinking as much. I'm just going off pure instinct the tired I get. I mean, giving you the ability to cancel is cool, but never forget you put promo Alex in detail. Never forget. I'm not. I'm saying yeah, it's gonna be funny, but it's not one I'd play. Cervantes, discard momentum. Your chaos attack gets plus powerful 1. But I've already lost the momentum to do that. Commit. Your opponent's attacks get plus. Commit. Your opponent's attacks get plus X speed, minus X damage, minimum of 1. X equals your momentum. Why? Why would I reduce their damage and increase their speed just for them to give it more speed? That sounds terrible. Like, literally terrible. Get over there. Cervantes 1. After your chaos attack is blocked, remove it from the game. Take 1 card from the top of your deck, add it to your momentum. Response, commit. Discard momentum before making a control check that is equal to... Before you make a control check, that check is equal to the control of the discarded card. No control check necessary. Oh, so it just basically lets me use the discarded momentum to pass the check. That's cute. But I'm still removed. After your chaos attack is removed from the game. Remove from the game and take add to momentum. So it's basically letting me pass a check by having something blocked. No, I can't even put it in D. That's just bad. That sounds terrible because it is. Abyss 2, commit. Discard your hand. Your opponent loses 5 vitality. Only playable on your first turn. Okay. Response after a control check is made, lose X vitality. That control check gets plus or minus X. Okay. We're spitting with bum. So that form is just terrible. You discard your entire hand, let your opponent essentially have a turn free to hit them for 5 damage, as you can do it on your first turn. That seems absolutely goddamn terrible. But that response seems very strong. Just the ability to lose vitality and just say you don't get to build. seems very strong. It's about a rat and a bunch. Oh. Can I see what it says now, or is it? I don't see any errata, but okay. Unless this is the printed errata. Momentum's cost, what a fate cost. I mean, just be able to just yeet your opponent's build into the ground. We've given things higher for less. Yeah, I was going to say Ultra doesn't have it. Connor, does Universus cards have the errata? I'm going to put it in B just because you can really mess about your opponent's turn. They did print it with errata, but I don't know. This must be printed with the errata then. Oh. Hey, we got a little like sliding scale here. We go ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay.